Hello students, myself Pravinian from Department of Computer Science Applications and Innovations. Hello students, welcome back to our class Object Oriented Analysis and Design. Last class we discussed about our syllabus, what are the topics we are going to study in this subject. In today's class we are going to discuss about fundamentals of object orientation. Here we are going to answer the question, what is object? What do you mean by object oriented analysis? Characteristics of object oriented approach and object oriented methodology. So, what is object orientation? The early phases of software construction, they were labor intensive and still very much rely on capabilities of agents which perform them. The complex software development problems such as banking systems, airline reservation systems, e-commerce systems, and process control systems such as weather forecast systems, they were developed by a team of developers, not from a individual one. And these are often a lengthy process. The size of the system is such that individuals can no longer fully comprehend the system. They are difficult to document and test, and they may be inconsistent and incomplete, and they radically change in order to meet changing requirements. So, the process of software development is very complex because there are a few points for the which makes the software development very complex. The people who have knowledge and skills to develop the software, they usually do not have detailed domain knowledge, and they need to acquire the requirements from uh, different people. Also, these requirements are usually not stable, but they change over the time. They evolve during the construction of the systems, such as after its delivery requiring continuous evaluations. Complexity is often increased in trying to preserve the investments that were made in legacy applications. Then components addressing new requirements have to be integrated with existing legacy applications. And interoperability problems caused by the heterogeneity of different system components, they introduce new complexity. See, a computer world, it is changing every day. Every single minute there is a new technology comes in the computer world. So when a new technology comes, the application which we developed, it must be compatible with whatever new technology has introduced. So it adds some kind of complexity to design softwares in a way. So complex software intensive systems, it cannot be developed by a single person, but it requires a team of developers. You can see that in every software industry there are a team of people, they are working for this single software. So this adds additional overhead, as the developer have to communicate about the development effort and about intermediate artifacts they produce in order to make them as consistent and complete as possible. This complexity often gets even more difficult to handle if the teams do not work in one location. They are geographically dispersed because one company, they have many campus and their employees are spread among many geographical locations. So communicate, making a communication between them. See, sometimes they use some technologies to communicate, but it is not eh, that much effective, or sometimes it adds some kind of complexity. Some people may not be available, or such kind of complexity is added to the design of the software. So management of these processes becomes an important subtask on its own, and they need to be kept as simple as possible. See, this complexity increases as the software they being developed increases, or you say it may have many modules or many different things needed to develop the software, or number of people in the team may grow over the time, or even employees. One employee who started the project, he may not be there when they are completing the project. So all those things adds some kind of complexity to software development. Third point is software offers a very high flexibility for changes. Hence, developers can express almost every kind of abstraction. This also often leads to situations where developers develop software components themselves rather than purchasing from somewhere else. Many software companies develop a single component from scratch. So even though there are many technologies, many modules which you can include in your software, but to understand the working of that, it requires much time. So what developer do is, instead of studying the existing thing, they go for developing their own. There are many, see, you can see many technologies nowadays. Even JavaScript. JavaScript is the base. There are many JS now, Node.js, many things. So all these are JavaScript only. They made it as a library so that people can do the things easily. But to do that easily, they need to study that, they need to learn it, so it takes time to learn such things. So what people think is, see, and also if they study also, sometimes uh, those technologies they may not be convenient to use as per their need. So it adds some kind of complexity to the software systems. The difficulty in changing the behavior, that is the dynamics of software system, while the human imagination suffices to describe static properties of systems, given they are properly decomposed, humans have problems to describe the behavior of a complex system. This because to describe behavior, it is not sufficient to describe the properties of a system, but the sequence values these properties take over the time needs to be specified. The task of the software development team is to engineer the illusion of simplicity. See, when they collect the requirements from a client, client may not be sure how exactly he needs that software, because he only knows how what he needs. But as a developer's perspective, there are many more things you need to understand. Sometimes the communication may not be properly done, so what a developer understood may not be the proper requirement of the client. So in this case, whatever design he do, that may not be exact requirement of the client. So this adds a kind of complexity to the development of the system. So we define objects as entities in the real world. So by considering these complexities, we are going to use a new way of designing the softwares that as per the real world things. So you already heard this term called object before. We define the object as the entities which are there in the real world with some characteristics and behavior. And we then review class as a mechanism to define the properties that similar objects they have in common. Classes will also provide a mechanism to create objects. So in object oriented programming, we define a class and we design the object. And these objects becomes the basis for all the object oriented design. Because see, when you look at the real world, we can see only the objects: a desk, a paper, a book. All these are objects. Why we call them as an object? They are discrete distinguishable entities. We can identify them uniquely from other things, and they have got some kind of characteristics. So let's see the next question, that is, what is object orientation? So we define object orientation as organizing a software as a collection of discrete objects that incorporate both data structure and behavior. So with respect to the object orientation concept, there are four aspects or characteristics they are required by an object in object oriented approach. We call them as identity, classification, inheritance, and polymorphism. Here identity means that the data which is quantized into discrete distinguishable entities. We call them as objects. As I told earlier, each object we can uniquely identify. See, there may be two similar objects, two books published by the same publication or written by same author, but they have two different objects. Uh, for a personal computer, see, we have many PCs in our lab, and each computer is an object. Bicycle is an object. A queen in a chess is an object, and there are many things which you can see in the real world, which is having some characteristics. We call them as object. Objects can be concrete, like real world objects such as file in a file system, or it can be a conceptual, that means a scheduling policy. If you studied operating system, you know there are different type of scheduling algorithms like SJF, round robin, etc. Each of such scheduling policy we call it as an object. So we can design it as a object. Each object has its own inherent identity, so we can identify, say, one scheduling policy, another scheduling policy. When it is concrete object, we can say one file, and even see, you can copy one file to another file, right? Or you can make multiple copies of the same file, and each copy becomes a different object. Understand it? Discrete distinguishable entities, we call it as objects. Each is having an identity. So